Here we're looking at another way to make a decal. Take a look on the forum. I'll put a link in the description below. You can see people have problems utilizing the decal component of a texture in VectorWorks, but there's much easier ways to do it. And take a look at the first one we have out video on That's How I Drew It. It's similar looking. Here this cube is an extrude. We made a square and extruded it, applied an existing texture onto that cube. You can see that this isn't just a fake drawing. We put a shape. The shape is also an extrude. You can see in the object info palette, if we say edit, you see that the basic shape is a rectangle. So in this case, we're going to show how the shader dictates the decal shape. We are using a relatively simple shape. It's this round basketball. If we look at what that texture is, we can see how it's composed. Now here's one of those aggravations with VectorWorks. Notice how it's gray, but it's not selected. So if I go up here and say I want to edit this one, notice that it gets me the basketball. Now distinctly, I went up here and right-clicked on this one. I'm going to say edit, but because the basketball is highlighted over here, notice it changed blue to gray. It selected the basketball for me. That's what we wanted in the first place, but this is one of those aggravations you got to watch out for. Click on it once. After you've opened up the resource manager, then you can right-click or option-click to edit it. If we go in here and look at it, we have an image. It's the same image we've used in the past, but what's the difference is we have a transparency mask here. So if we say edit, and the transparency mask is, we're going to reuse the image from this texture. You need to start by having an image that is a PNG, and the PNG has an alpha mask around it. We'll jump into that in a bit, but you bring that in as your color image shader. You click on image, you edit it. Only in this case we already have it in here, so we don't have to put it in, but you're going to say pick the image, and when you pick the image, you're going to bring in your PNG image of the basketball that has an alpha channel around it. You're going to say okay, and you're going to apply it onto this extrude. We're talking about this outside extrude. Now if I go to wireframe, you can see that this is simply a rectangle, a square, for example, in this case. If we go over here and say extrude, and we say edit the extrude, you see it's a rectangle. So we made the rectangle to begin with, we extruded it, we made it on this face, so that when we rendered it, we're rendering just an OpenGL, we can see it on the face. Easy thing to remember is to apply your decal, set your working plane, and draw on the face, or you can draw it anywhere you want and then maneuver it. Sometimes the process of setting a working plane is much more complicated than simply aligning two shapes together or manipulating them in the top plan view or in a front view. So if we render this and we look at it without textures, let's just turn the textures off, you see that this is just a rectangle. So what is it that's making it look like the basketball, not a basketball stuck on a rectangle? Well, if we understand the PNG part of the basketball, we understand that there is an alpha mask around here, and we end up with the shader removing this part of the extrude, and all we're left with is this basketball in here. So again, we're back to how did we make the texture? It's the same as what we've shown before, only in this case, the texture has a transparency. It's an image mask. If we edit this, we see that we're going to see what's in the white and not what's in the black. If you click on here, you can see that this is based on a color mask. We'll show you how to do this. It's going to be done outside of VectorWorks, or you're going to bring it in from a program that already gives you that alpha channel around the basketball.